game. Ryuuoo.
So last night, after 15 years, the Colonel walks into my office. It made me take a good hard look at myself. Maybe I have hit bottom, and maybe I do look like hell. Lord knows the only exercise I've had lately is tipping the bottle and flipping cards into my hat. I gotta find some work. Contrary to what the Colonel might think, I'm as good a detective as he ever was. Now I just gotta prove it. I'm gonna scare up a job today, even if it means finding somebody's lost puppy.
Nyt sitten menetään hermot tämän ohjaussysteemin myötä. Nostetaan vähän volyymia. Noin.
That hutch holds a life's worth of knickknacks, paddywhacks, and the world's largest piece of elbow macaroni.
Elbow macaroni.
This piece of art is called Two Whales on a Bender.
Two whales on bender.
This one really isn't art, it's a placemat from Taco Bob's. The UI of U was the only place that would accept me. Half the course credit was earned by locating the university.
Locating university.
I spent weeks earning this baby. Best 20 bucks I ever spent. CrimeLink computer is the only valuable piece of equipment left in the office. By entering suspect information like height, weight, and hair color, I can access the suspect's personal files.
Okay.
Oh, great. Another incoming message that won't print out. If I don't get a new fax machine, I'll be out of business. Nothing here but nostalgia. I bought this table so I wouldn't have to sit on the floor when I use my computer.
Saatana. Paskaa kerätään hiileen. Vittu tämä kontrollisysteemi.
One last $10 stamp waits patiently to be licked and mailed.
Oh.
This is probably the only writing utensil that works in the whole office. As usual, it's a mess. As usual, it's a mess. As usual, it's a mess. As usual, it's a mess.
No, it's empty, not mess.
My old reliable faux oak desk. Toxic Taste is a novel by Lou G. Trundle, the only mutant popular enough to make the New York Times bestseller list. My phone had worked perfectly if it hadn't been disconnected. Hip-hop English keeps me up on all the slang kids are using today. World War IV. A dark and reactionary vision of the coming century by Rush Limbaugh III. The fabulous Dior lamp. I bought it for 77 cents. I love murder mysteries. To be a fictional detective. Everything would be so much simpler then.
Niinpä.
The Scotch guard that Rudy's upholstering service put on my office chairs will stand up to anything. And I ought to know.
Tässä kadulla näkyy.
Things look pretty slow on the street today.
Up. Blah.
Sylvia, my ex-wife. Whenever I think things can't get any worse, I think about her and how she totally screwed up my life. She's a woman who loves a man, any time. I'll never forget the day I came home early and caught her with the upholstery man.
Oh, there you are. I just got done with the chair. I'll be sending the bill to your husband.
Oh, Rudy. Let's not think about my husband right now. I was watching you upholster and you're so big and strong.
Do you really think so?
Well, yes. God, I've only known you for 10 minutes and I feel like I've known you forever. Oh, yes, look. And look at this muscle. Oh. The way you hold me, Tex never held me like this. Oh, kiss me, Rudy, and set my lips on fire.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, Tex, honey.
Oh, tästä
I
kuulossa
wasn't expecting
musiikkia.
you home so soon.
Well, duh. Obviously. Now I know why the Roto-Rooter man keeps calling and asking whether we need our plumbing checked. Well, I gotta admit, those chairs look pretty good.
Thanks. Listen, how about I don't charge you on the labor and we call it even?
Fair enough. But from here on out, Rudy, customer servicing doesn't include my wife.
See, honey? I saved you some money again. Aren't you happy?
I married her for better or worse. Unfortunately, it never got any better. This pure mountain spring water is indispensable, literally. I'm out of paper cups. Another pile of garbage. There just aren't enough hours in the day. That's a perfect bed for a destitute PI. Small, lightweight, no sheets required. Well, since the building inspector has only one eye and no depth perception, the hotel manager painted fire extinguishers in all the apartments. It saved him a bundle. I called this painting the Big Spill. The stupid light switch is stuck in the on position. Could be worse, I guess.
Vois olla.
Ah, the closet door. All I've ever needed was a soft felt fedora, a well-tailored overcoat, and a comfy pair of sneakers. Some people know what they like, and they stay with it. Great-great-grandpa Murphy made it through the Depression by teaching cha-cha lessons to rich older women. He made thousands before the authorities found out he had no formal training.
Hop. Hop.
The dusty credenza I've got serves only one purpose, and that's to keep the dust off the floor. My gun. I love it so much! Old trusty sidearm. Been with me since the beginning. You want some of this, huh? Bam, bam! Hey, bam, bam, bam! Bam! Bam, bam! Bam! And you! Hey, Sonny, can you help me out? My girlfriend threw my gun out of the window. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just pick it up and, hey, don't point that thing up here. That's not a toy, you know. Oh, my hell. No matter how bad things got, I always had my gun. Now I've lost that, too. I have a feeling this is gonna be one of those days. I love my comfy chair. I just wish it wouldn't be so easy to tip over whenever I got drunk. Oh boy, mail. Oh boy, mail.
Mail.
My phonograph's an old family heirloom. I love to play the classics. Kool and the Gang, Peaches and Herb.
Selvä. Katossa ei oo mitään.
The office was actually a dance studio before I moved in, and Latin dancing is a Murphy family tradition.
Earth. $10. Big building somewhere on Earth. Surgery gift certificate. This gift certificate entitles the holder on one free cosmetic job. Nose, boob, it is a courtesy of Real Use Surgical Clinic. 30 minutes to be a better you.
A pre-approved electronic shop credit card application addressed to the previous occupant. Just needs to be signed, stamped, and mailed.
Grand reopening sale tomorrow. Electronic shop will open it in a remodel store. Doohickeys. Fingers. What's my call it? And much more. Remember to bring your electronic shop credit card and plan to stay late. You won't believe the deals. One of each in stock. These products of course are not sale. Cash not have it. Much more. One each in stock. Be sure to check the prices on your line dandy products. These products of course are not on sale. Bring your credit card. Cash not accepted. Credit card required to enter electronic shops. Kauppaan kai pääse ilman korttia.
pre-approved electronic shop credit card application addressed to the previous occupant.
Aivan.
Just needs to be signed, stamped, and mailed.
Stamped and mailed. Kompine. Noin. Filled out application.
Now all this baby needs is a stamp.
Yep.
Now all this baby
Ei.
needs...
Kompine. Filled out application stamp.
I need to run this thing down to the auto post box on the street.
Okay.
That's the door to the street.
Oop.
The air outside feels thick, like I'm breathing through a pair of dirty gym socks. It's a high radiation day. Most everyone will be staying inside, but I need to hunt for some work. I always like to start the day with the traditional PI breakfast. That hits the spot. Chelsea's a hot little number. I hear she's a mutant, but it doesn't show. The only weird thing about her is she won't go out with me. I like to stand by these, waiting for a glimpse of Rita. Rook Garner runs this pawn shop. Chelsea keeps a well-stocked selection of magazines. I wish I could afford to buy a couple. Life hasn't been the same since my True Detective subscription ran out. Chelsea runs a first-rate newsstand. Chelsea Bando's the kind that could hold her own with anyone, but she has a way of turning my knees to jelly. She's a mutant just like everyone else in this part of town, but she's a real beauty.
Well, hello, stranger.
There are two types which means you choose how to respond to character history. Second is like movies game where you watch conversation play out without influencing the outcome. Joo.
Tell me, gorgeous, has the new True Detective come in yet?
Yeah, but you gotta pay for it this time. Hey, when you finish a magazine, it is in no condition to sell.
You're a riot, Chelsea. You ought to be doing stand-up.
No. Look, I do enough stand-up work right here. So can I help you with something?
Ryuuoo Garner.
Rook acts like a tough guy, but he's a softie. Just don't tell him that to his face.
He's softy. Just don't tell him that to his face. Okay?
Oh, you know me, Tex. I'm just making ends meet. I love Louis, but his friendliness doesn't fool me. He's a sharp one. He knows everything that's going on in this neighborhood. Franny's a live wire. Either she or Sal is gonna do time for killing the other one. I have never seen a couple fight like they do. Sal's a handful. He's a nice guy, but I don't know, I feel kind of naked when he gives me the eye. Luckily, Ardo seems to like me. I mean, if I were on his bad side, I'd be tempted to relocate. He could crush a Subaru with one hand.
Subaru. With one hand. Okay.
Wish I could help you there, Tex.
These garbage cans seem to be in good shape. Too bad nobody uses them. These garbage cans seem to be in good shape.
Onko niissä mitään? Ei ne ole litteet.
The most interesting thing about these movie posters is that someone hasn't stolen them yet. I like to stand by these, waiting for a glimpse of Rita. The Bijou Theater used to be quite a night spot. It was condemned years ago and could collapse any day. There's no way I'm going in there. The Bijou Theater used to be quite a... The Acme Warehouse is the former Snow White dry cleaning building. Nobody's used this place in a while. The Acme Warehouse is the former Snow White... Yeah, looks like someone's locked the door. Yeah, looks like some...
Lukussa.
These signs around here haven't been replaced in at least 50 years. All hell has broken loose since the government stopped requiring products to display those give a hoot, don't pollute symbols. I heard this newspaper box got destroyed right after Chelsea opened her newsstand. Coincidence?
Nope.
These fire hydrants are commonly used by the locals to mark territory in front of their respective business establishments. These fire hydrants are commonly used by the locals to mark territory in front of their respective businesses. Coit Tower was once a majestic landmark. The wiener stand on the patio at the base of Coit Tower made the best chili dog in town. No one's here right now, though, so I better check back later. That great old landmark, the Coit Tower, rises high above the skyline. That great old landmark... Ah, the once majestic Chandler Avenue. There's enough radiation in this asphalt to fry an egg on Christmas morning.
Oh.
Rusty the Clown's novelty shop. Closed down a few months ago after Rusty mysteriously disappeared. The police suspect foul play, but I think he probably just choked to death on his own bad jokes.
Mitäs tämä sanookaan? Kukas sinua oli?
What can I do for you, Tex? I remember Rusty. He had a kid's show on TV when I was young. I hated the show. That clown makeup always scared me. Luckily, Ardo seems to...
Low.
I love Louis, but his friendliness... Rook acts like a...
Rook. Silleen saa. Niin, no.
It's all locked up. The only way I'm gonna get inside is by using my innate cleverness or ingenuity, or maybe a key.
Or maybe key.
It's all locked up. Surprisingly, the auto postbox has no graffiti on it. Maybe people around here are finally starting to respect our government and its fine agencies.
Ready to mail application. Use.
The Postal Service has gotten much faster since the stamp price went to $10. I should get my credit card back tomorrow morning.
Selvä.
Man, there are signs of radioactivity everywhere. Some of this devastation came from the Barney the Dinosaur Museum. No one was too upset when it became one of the first structures to get blasted in the war. Everyone refers to this stuff as Barney rubble.
Bridges. Cable cars.
These posters somehow survived the big war. They're bitter reminders of the past glory of this great city. Francesca Lucido makes the spiciest pizza in the city. The only thing spicier than her cooking is her imagination. And right now she seems to have a thing for me. Louis Laments runs the Brew and Stew, which is a local hangout. Well, this is a section of the Bay City Mirror. It's a weekly newsletter that covers local goings-on written by mutants for mutants. I'd subscribe if they had a comics page.
Burglarious Buffalo Police. Total inner city bombs of burglaries committed over past 3 weeks now stands on 9. Zipikas located at the corner of Checker on Maple Street was broken into 3 nights ago. Volumes Paid Shop. Police officer acquitted assaulted. Civil suit. Grateful Dead tour. Need a cash. Need cash. At Organ Trail Clinic we pay up to $50 for any and all vital organs. We also pay market rate for arms, legs, eyeballs. Are you a lefty who's short on rent? Bring in that right arm. Your friendly qualified staff will be happy to sever that limp, and you walk out moments later with $5 extra in your pocket. Hurry in and don't forget to ask about frequent donor program. Must be removed on site to meet AMA requirements. This week poems was sent in by 15-year-old Boo Boo Wong. Haiku to a taco. Soft shell taco mine. What meat are thou concealing? Who cares? It tasty. Olipa hyvä haiku. Vai mikä oli?
Louis Laments runs the Brew and Stew, which is a local hangout.
Oh.
The Brew and Stew is run by Louis Laments, a bloated mutant with a heart bigger than his waistline. Everyone comes to Louie's cafe. So does all the street talk. If something's going on, Louie knows about it.
What can I do for you, Mike?
Move.
About a pitcher of beer and the love of a good woman, Louie.
I can't help you with the woman, Mike. Yeah, no problem with the beer, though. Put it on your tab?
Why not? How many $1,000 do I owe you anyway?
Don't worry about it, Mike. I know you're good for it. Rook's an ornery old cuss, but me and him are old buddies. We fought in the big war together. He's one person you can trust in these troubled times. Chelsea acts tough, but she has to be with all the scum around. And she's as smart as she is pretty. She knows a lot of what goes on in the shadows of this city. Yeah, things are a little slow, but I'm getting by. Having to lay off some of my kitchen help hurt my pride more than anything. Granny's a fireball. She and Sal opened a pizza place 7 to 8 years ago, and they've been fighting ever since.
Lucida.
Sal's a big guy with an appetite for food, wine, and women. He comes by here most every day for lunch.
Ardo Nypop.
Ardo comes in now and again. Usually orders a couple of steaks and a chocolate milk. His temper's as short as he is tall. And he's only got one oar in the water. A bad combination. Sorry, Mike. Can't help you there. He was a strange one. He had a show on TV for a while. Got pretty popular. Then he quit the show and went into business. He opened up a shop right up the street from here. I guess he wasn't a very good businessman. The shop went out of business within a couple of months. Then Rusty just disappeared. I heard he'd made some enemies in the novelty trade. Ever since the crusade started up, the relations between Norms and mutants has gone to pot. I've had rocks thrown through my windows, graffiti sprayed on the bricks outside. There's not much I can do, though. He's one of the few Norms besides you who's eaten here. Seems like a typical cop. A little dim. And not too concerned about what happens in the mutant sections of town.
Okay.
Francesca Lucido makes the spiciest pizza in the city.
Well, it's that a handsome P.I. Tex Murphy. Have you come to take me away?
How'd you guess? You must have seen my white horse hitched to the railing out front.
Oh my, Mr. Murphy, you certainly know how to excite a girl.
Sä ajattelit fantasy-lauluja mua vaan.
Well, that's very nice of you to say, Mrs. Lucido. But I'm here on business.
Oh, pooh! All the business and no pleasure makes even a private dick a dull boy. What do you want? Rook is a tough old geezer. I've known him ever since we opened the Slice of Heaven back in 32. But I can't say I know him very well.
Chelsea Pando.
Chelsea is a nice girl. Sal tries to flirt with her, but she doesn't give him the time of day. I like Louis. He runs a nice place, and I go over there and chat with him when the business is slow. Well, I was hoping you'd get around to asking about me. I'm just a lonely, hot-blooded woman who needs the love of a good, strong man. Me and Sal got married too young, and it's been up and down ever since. I've had enough of his drinking and the womanizing, and I divorce him in a second, but he's got a couple of buddies who are top lawyers. If I had some hard evidence of his screwing around, I could divorce him and get a decent settlement. Ardo is an overgrown kid. He comes in here for the all-you-can-eat buffet, and I've got to kick him out every time. If I didn't, he'd eat everything we got. Can't help you, Tex.
Why not?
He was a weirdo who opened up a shop just down the street. That would have been a couple of years ago. The business went under in a hurry, and the clown just disappeared. That's that religion for norms only. It makes me sick. Sorry, I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
These posters somehow survived.
Up.
This is the brand new electronic shop outlet. No pun intended. I won't be able to get inside the electronic shop until I get a membership card.
Electronic Shop Outlet. Niin. Pistorasia. Op. Missä mä en oo vielä käynyt? Mitäs täällä? Pääseekö tänne?
That old wooden fence blocks off the alley that runs beside Rook's pawn shop.
Mikäs tämä on?
Rook Garner runs this pawn shop.
Ah.
Rook Garner runs this pawn shop. He's a crusty old World War III vet with a face like a raisin and a tongue like a butcher's cleaver.
What do you want, Murphy?
Is this a bad time for a visit?
That depends on whether you're here to help me or to irritate me.
Sounds like you're in the market for a PI.
I might be. Let me tell you the whole sordid story. Last night, someone broke into my pawn shop. I don't usually have anything of great value, but yesterday I gave out a fair amount of cash for an extremely valuable diamond bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
My deductive powers tell me the bracelet's no longer on the premises.
Brilliant work, Murphy.
Thanks. So what happened?
The bracelet was pawned by a young girl named Amy Nimpton. She said she hated to hawk a family heirloom, but had no choice. She said she would reclaim the bracelet in a month. Well, since the bracelet was worth 10 times 8,000 I loaned her, it was a good deal for me.
Did you get any other information from this Emma Nimpton?
She left a phone number. I called her this morning, but the line is disconnected.
So do you have any leads on recovering the bracelet?
No, the police are a waste of time, and I can't afford to hire a decent PI.
I guess this means you don't consider me good enough to help track down the bracelet?
I'd appreciate your help. I'm not a rich man, but if you find the bracelet, I'll owe you a few favors, which could come in handy. Come back here and I'll show you where they broke in.
Okay.
Rook takes me out back and shows me where the burglar broke in. The back window is busted out and the latch is ripped. It's a sloppy job. As I start my investigation, I'm looking for information to enter into my crime link computer back at the office. One thing's for sure, Emma Nimpton won't be one of the suspects' names. Every PI worth his salt knows that's not my name spelled backwards.
Mitäs täällä on?
An empty bottle of evanescent spring water. For those with a higher class of thirst. The empty bottles of chocolate syrup lying all around this alley all look like they've been licked clean. These are empty jumbo-sized cans of Camel's chunky chocolate soup. Good. These disgusting piles of trash remind me of Aunt Betty's annual yard sales.
No.
The empty bottles of chocolate syrup lying all around this alley all look... Like Rook always says, you can cut corners here and there, but there's nothing like a quality garbage can.
Up. Move.
Looks like a key of some kind. Like Rook always said.
Mitäs täällä? Siellä on sirpele.
Shard of glass must have come from that broken window. Now we're starting to get somewhere.
Lasia. Tää on jalanjälki.
Looks like a shoe print is outlined in that sticky pool of something resembling chocolate. Footprints about a size 14.
Pitääkö näitä ottaa ylä?
Looks like a shoe print is outlined in that sticky pool of something resembling chocolate. Footprints about a size 14.
14.
Well, obviously, the window was broken from the outside. Well, that's the sturdy, worm-eaten back door to Rook's pawn shop.
Mikäs tuo on?
The baby rum wrapper looks like it was left recently. Yep, still warm. I don't usually enjoy piles of garbage, but they do add a lot of character to this alley.
Op, mikäs täällä on?
It's one of those basketballs they used to give away at Weenie World.
Weenie World.
10 seconds left, down by 1. Murphy has the ball. He fakes, he drives. It's a 360.
He's foul.
Ouch.
Whoever uses these garbage cans is either a terrible shot or is saving them for that special piece of trash.
That's ouch. Eh.
The empty bottles of chocolate syrup line. Whatever's on the other end of this power box must be out of commission. The gauge is as dead as my love life. The texture of the pavement surface is a cross between a spilled Coke and sandstone. Every time I see yellow-gray water oozing out of a gutter, I just can't help but thirst for a cup of coffee from the brew and stew. Whoever uses these Well, that steep staircase looks really hard to climb. Hey, this door's just painted on.
This door is just painted on.
This is where graffiti novices come to practice. After honing their skills, they move on to places where people actually care if you spray paint their walls.
Katsotaan mitä ylhäältä näkyy. Hop.
Another billboard advertising cosmetic surgery. It's big business these days. Mutants with money will pay anything to look like norms. The soft white light from the street light allows you to read graffiti without the unnecessary eye strain caused by other street lights. It feels like somebody's watching. Someone really weird.
Someone really weird. Reky kyllä Papersolle.
Wow, a recyclable paper can. Finally, a glimmer of ecological responsibility. I didn't know Rook cared. Wow, a recyclable paper can.
Tästä tätä löytyy.
Wow, a recyclable paper can. Finally.
Ei mitään.
I wonder what all these garbage... This chain link fence doesn't seem to do much, except separate Rook's ugly half of the alley from Franny's ugly half of the alley. Whoever uses these garbage... I wonder what all these garbage cans are doing around here. Maybe Rook is running a low-rent hostel.
Low-rent hostel. God.
I wonder what all these garbage cans...
Eat. Kill mutants.
Oh, man! This dumpster smells like 20-year-old mayonnaise, and I ought to know. Well, I'll be darned. Except for the filth and stench, the interior isn't much different than the average studio apartment. In fact, it's nicely furnished. Someone's been living here, and I wonder if he saw anything. Well, I'll be darned.
Missäs asukas on? Ei, mitäs tämässä on?
Whoa! This antique boombox worked. I bet it'd only play the Bee Gees.
The radio. Nova.
Looks like whoever broke into Rook's window left one of his hairs behind. Apparently our burglar is a Carrot Top.
Carrot hair.
This old relic probably hasn't worked in years. Hey, there are batteries in here.
Batteries! Yay!
I wonder if these still work. Tingly tongue. Still got juice. These disgusting
piles of trash.
So, Murphy, have you come up with anything yet?
Yeah, but I'll need another 5 or 10 minutes to solve your case, Rook.
You know, Murphy, I'm amazed that a gumshoe with a sarcastic mouth like yours can stay alive. One of these days, someone with no sense of humor is going to cut you in half.
I don't know, Rook. I still got 2 or 3 lives left. By the way, I need to ask you some questions.
That depends on whether you're here to help me or to irritate me. She's a honey, ain't she? Makes me wish I was 30 years younger. She knows the black market and has helped me make some connections.
Connections.
Louis and I go way back. We ran guns to Ethiopia before World War III, then fought in the same regiment during the war. After the war, Louis opened the Brew and Stew and told me about this shop, which I bought for a song, and then I started my own pawn business. Franny's a hot-blooded gal. She and her husband Sal wake up the neighborhood sometimes with their rows. Strikes me as a village idiot. He came by one time to see if I had any Inspector Burns action figures. I told him I'd never heard of these Burns characters and thought the kid was gonna tear my damn head off.
Inspector Burns. Ai niin joo.
I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
Don't get me started. That movement is nothing but a hate machine. The Civil War's on the horizon because we mutants can't sit around and take the discrimination anymore. Those crusading fools have started something too big to control.
Okay.
I don't know anything about that. It was a beauty. Encrusted with diamonds and rubies and inlaid with gold. It makes me mad as hell that someone will break into the shop. I have a hard enough time making ends meet.
Okay. Käydään juttelemassa tälle.
Chelsea's a hot little number.
Chelsea.
I hear she's a mutant, but it doesn't show. The only weird thing about her...
Hi, Tex. How's the investigation going? Is there anything I can do to help? The crusade is big. I mean, much bigger than most people know. They have operatives all over, and then these huge sections of the norm population are joining. Well, they say it's a religion, but then they encourage the members to be violent and prejudiced towards others. Sorry, I haven't heard anything about that. Wish I could help you there, Tex. Yeah, you know, I remember Rook told me about the burglary. You know, I remember a stranger hanging around the past couple of days. It might be a dead end, but I seem to remember that the guy had these bright green eyes and a tattoo of an anchor on his arm.
Green öys. Öys ja ankkuritatuointi. Ankkortatto.
Oh, you know me, Tex. Franny's a live wire. Either she or Sal is gonna do time for killing the other one. I have never seen a couple fight like they do. Sal's a handful. He's a nice guy, but I don't know, I feel kind of naked when he gives me the eye.
What eye? Eye.
The Golden Gate Hotel was once known as the Waldorf of the Pacific. Its halls are still sturdy, and the walls have worn well. But there's nobody living inside.
Oh.
Ardo Newpop is a gigantic goon who works at the front desk at the Golden Gate Motel. Ardo's no rocket scientist. In fact, he probably doesn't even know what a rocket scientist is.
Boop doop hope no hobby. Rusku approach.
My name's Tex, and I'm a PI. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Okay. I think I already seen this show before anyway.
Captain Wallaby, your favorite show?
It's my third favorite show. My favorite is the Inspector Burns Fire Safety Show.
Why is that your favorite show?
Because fire safety is very important, and I want to grow up to be just like Inspector Burns.
Well, I'm sure Inspector Burns would be thrilled. Can I ask you some questions?
Okay. I can answer some questions, but first I have to put on my fire hat because Inspector Burns' Fire Safety Show is going to be on pretty soon.
Selvä.
I went to his pawn shop because I thought he would have Inspector Burns action figures, but he didn't, and I got mad at him, so he probably don't like me. Ooh, Chelsea is pretty cool, because she's got good magazines and stuff. That's where I bought my Inspector Burns Fire Safety Manual. He's a nice guy, and I like to eat there because there's a TV. She's the lady who makes the best pizza. I eat at her pizza place all the time because I love it. I don't know what that is.
Okay.
I just want to be like my hero, Inspector Burns, because fire safety is very important. I never heard nothing about that. I used to watch his TV show, and it was pretty good, but then it stopped. And then he opened a store down the street, and I used to go there and buy stuff, but then it closed.
Voi.
I heard about that, but I don't